We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. Today we're looking at Trespasser issue 1 of 4. This is obviously a limited series from Alterna, written by Justin Ryan, Christian Rossi, art, and DC Hopkins letters. I'm a little conflicted. Overall, I thought it was really good. The art's solid. The girl's drawn a little weird sometimes. The artist has a little trouble with faces a little bit. Anyway, there's a guy and his daughter and their dog, and there obviously is something going on, some sort of collapse of some sort, but the guy goes out hunting, and he's using a Geiger counter to check to see if everything's okay, and he finds that one of his traps caught an alien with a really cool gun. Well, he tries talking to the alien, doesn't understand it, and this is around the time we see the daughter, and she's got a really weird looking face in the one picture. And it kind of bugs me because her eyes, like, she looks like an alien. Other than that, the girl talks the dad into trying out the laser pistol. They go out and set up a target and blast right through the barn and through some trees. And yeah, it was pretty cool. And the guy finds a little map on the alien guy. The alien tries to talk to him, and the guy gives a little bit of background about what happened. Not much, though. We know something happened, and there's a shot where they're in the barn or garage or whatever, and you can see this car has bullet holes all over the side of it, and he just makes an offhanded reference to things being dangerous, and the alien's trying to talk to him, and the guy says, "I'm sorry," and the next thing we know, he's serving his daughter food, and the girl's like, "I thought you said he'd be a few weeks before he was healed," and he's like, "Oh, nope, he got better," and now suddenly they have food, and there's a bloody machete out back. Yeah, I think they ate him, which is really sad, too, because the alien didn't really do anything. He wasn't threatening. He was just some injured, scared guy. So yeah, I'm a little disturbed by that. That's a little creepy. Apparently, an alien meat smells awful. This is part 1. It's a fast read. Overall, I liked it quite a bit. I thought it was a really good story. It's very fast-paced. The only trouble I have is a lot of the pages have a lot of wasted space. There's like panels that's like one page where a panel start out large and then they slowly become smaller over the course of 5 panels. So you get all this wasted negative space, and it does that a lot through this book. Now obviously they're going to collect these in trade paperbacks, and maybe they're just kind of dragging it out a little bit with these larger panels to try and create these 4-issue series so that they can get it all in a trade later. That's fine. Considering the price point's only $1.50, I am not going to complain at all. It was a fun book, really well written. The art was good overall. I think the artist could use a little bit of work on faces, especially the little girl. She looks weird a lot. Otherwise, yeah, good detailing overall. Yeah, not bad. I was impressed. I'm intrigued to read the next issue. I have all 4, so I'm going to review them probably just one a day, just so we don't get bogged down too much with the same thing. But yeah, I recommend this one. I thought it was fun, interesting introduction. I thought it would be more of a alien invasion story, but it's more like this alien just kind of blundered into some sort of collapse situation, and this guy may have eaten them. So that's a little freaky. So we're going to find out in the next one what happened, hopefully. I feel bad for the alien. He didn't seem to do anything wrong. But that'll do it for this one. As always, thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode. Hello, and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. I just finished reading Trespasser issue 4. This is, of course, from Alterna Comics, written by Justin M. Ryan, art by Christian Rossi, and letters by DC Hopkins. Now, we pick up fairly shortly after where we left off, I think. It looks like it's the next day. The unnamed father is burying the clothes of the alien along with everything else he had, and it's a silent page, but you really get a good feel for it. It's got like that setting sun and the dynamic that he's out there working. Well, he's talking with his kid after that, and kind of little family bonding type stuff. But he shortly thereafter notices that there are boils or blisters on his arm, and he of course checks his daughter, who looks really emaciated in this issue. The artist did a better job with the faces in this one. The kid still looks a little creepy in a few scenes, but I think the artist has potential. But then somebody is coming around, the dog's going crazy, acting weird all day, and the dad sends the girl to her room to lock herself in, and we get these great shots, these creepy shadows and silhouettes as the dad is out and the girl's in her room. There's a really good one where the dad's heading back and he collapses and the girl goes out to help him, sees that he's got even more of these boils on him, and we get the shot of a gray alien hiding out on the edge of the woods mixed in with the trees. It's a beautiful shot, really well done. But they hurry back into the house. The dad is obviously sick and the girl's really scared and worried, and she sees someone at the door. There's a knocking and the gun goes off. She says she didn't mean to do it, drops the gun, frightened, and the dad goes out, and the issue ends with the bloody alien uniform that he had buried at the beginning of the issue, laying on some kind of symbol that's carved on the floor. Obviously, the aliens know what happened, and they're not happy about it, but it was a fast-paced issue. There's some talking, but not as much as I thought there would be, which is good because it really would have hurt the story to have a whole lot of extra dialogue in it, and I thought it was done really well. It was a fun, fast-paced issue. This is turning out to be a pretty creepy story. They're still eating the guy too, I think, because the girl mentions that she doesn't want to eat the food and it's gross, and he's like, just eat it, it's all we got. So yeah, but that's a good third the way in the issue, and yeah, I don't know where they're getting their water though, because they're getting water out of their sink, but this is supposed to be some sort of collapse. The house looks pretty run down. You get some interesting hints that, things are definitely not going well economically for this family, and it sounds like there was some sort of catastrophe in society. So yeah, overall, fun, fast-paced issue. Really kind of picks up the level of fear and intrigue and kicks it up 4 or 5 notches. There's at least one other alien, probably more, and yeah, it's definitely going in a pretty frightening direction. So this would make a pretty good movie from what I've seen so far. I'm hoping the payoff is as good as the first 2 issues, but we'll see how issue 3 is, and then issue 4. I'll try and do these probably tomorrow. I'll do issue 3, but yeah, I really recommend this. Alterna Comics has really done some great stuff. I'm really impressed with their books, especially at the price point. You can't really beat $1.50, and honestly, it's better than a lot of stuff that I've seen in the last 10 years from some of the main companies. So yeah, that'll do it for this one. As always, thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode. Hello, and welcome to another Bad Comic Review, where I review things very badly. Today I'm looking at Trespasser issue 3. I just finished reading it, and I don't know how people waited bi-monthly to get this book. I bought them all at once, and I recommend you do the same if you're going to pick this up, and I highly recommend reading it. It is a fun read, and it is very intense. So we pick up where we left off last issue. The kid has pretty much figured out what's going on, and she is not happy. The dad obviously is sick. He's got these, blisters all over. She's upset, and she says, you need a doctor, and this is where we find out a little bit more backstory. It says, the nearest thing that looks like civilization is the military checkpoint up in Jefferson, if it's still there. And they don't have anything to trade to get help from a doctor. Obviously, there's been major breakdown in society. They're very far away from wherever these doctors or this military checkpoint is, and he says it's very far away. So they're very isolated, and getting sick in those conditions is very deadly. So they go out hunting instead, and they find a bear that's very sickly looking and is missing an arm, and the dad kills it with a shotgun. Probably the more unbelievable part of this. And they check it with the Geiger counter, and it's not safe to eat, and neither is what it was eating. And the girl looks at the bear and looks at her stuffed animal. She has a stuffed bear that she's been holding, and he says it's not Stumpy, and she's like, I know I'm not stupid. And that's when she kind of explodes on him and says, I know what you did, I know where the meat came from. He trusted you, you lied to him, you lied to me, you made me eat him. And she wants to go home, and he's like, fine, and he yells at her. Of course, their tensions are high because he's sick and they're out in this rainstorm trying to find some food and they're wasting away. He even says, and I'm quoting here, "I'm sorry, but he died. There was no sense in letting the cleanest food I've seen in 10 years go to waste." But when they get back to the house, they find the dog waiting for them, and it's got a head wound. There's something embedded in its head with a bloody spot. And the dog's acting a little weird. When the dad tries to reach for whatever that thing is, the dog growls at him. So he sends the girl inside, takes the dog out in the woods, yanks that thing out, and it is just like, looks like a ballpoint pen, a little bigger, but it's like a needle, and it's got these cords on it that try and wrap around his hand. And he throws it down. The dog dies, probably because that was reanimating the dog, which is pretty freaky. He goes inside to talk to the girl, and she knows the dog's dead, but she's really mad at him and says, that she hopes that she dies to get away from him. And that's when it comes out that she has the blisters too, and she blames him. She goes running outside like any kid probably would to get away from him, and she comes across an alien. The dad's like, obviously upset, doesn't want the alien near her. He knows he's in trouble at this point. And the girl starts vomiting up blood, and we have a cliffhanger. It's an intense issue. It's so much better than I just described it. I highly recommend checking this book out. This was a wild ride. I really recommend it. This would make a great movie. Very intense. They would probably have to do a little more backstory about what's going on. That's the only thing I kind of feel like is missing, is that there probably should be some more background information on exactly what happened, at least just a little bit. They touch on it briefly, but we don't really know what's going on. But yeah, it's pretty intense. I feel bad for the kid, and I do feel bad for the dad too, because they really didn't have any other food. But at the same time, obviously the guy shouldn't have murdered the alien. Anyway, a fantastic issue, highly recommended. I really hope the payoff's as good as the first 3 issues. So let's find out in the next issue on the next episode. As always, thanks for listening. Hello, and welcome back to another Bad Comic Review. Today we are looking at Trespasser issue 4. This is the final part of the 4-part limited series from Alterna Comics, put out in 2017. And now we're back with the man and his daughter. He's drinking some Jack Daniels or something similar while the kid's balled up in bed. He goes up to talk to her. They have some nice bonding time. She throws up because she's sick, and then boom, shaft of light hits him. And he takes another shot. And tells the kid, he tells the kid to stay put, then takes a shot. Someone's knocking on the door. He answers. That's very polite of the aliens to knock, honestly. He sees the aliens out there, and they're in their cool little outfits, looking all sinister and mean. And he surrenders. He begs for his daughter's life. Asks, he says do whatever they want. They can torture him, whatever. They bring his daughter out, and they zap him, and then they leave. Then we cut forward. There's some medical stuff going on. The girl wakes up. She's in the military base in Jefferson. We get this great exterior shot of the Jefferson checkpoint, and there's alien bodies hanging from the walls, and they're all bloodied, of course. It's a really good page, actually. It's very, very dynamic, very intense. If it had ended there, I would have been like, oh my god, that's an awesome way to end it. But the epilogue, for me, hurts it a little bit. It has a years later epilogue, and we're back at the farmhouse. The dad's alive, and the girl shows up and says, "It's me, Maria." And she's got the side of her head shaved like some 80s punk rocker. I think that's a little too silly looking, especially in the winter. And she's missing an arm, and she's got this 3-eyed dog. His name's Gargoyle, and she says how she's been looking for the house, and he notices one of those alien implant pen things right behind her ear, but he doesn't pay any attention to it. So then they go inside and say, let's get some food. And there's this exterior shot of a sign with what looks like a crop circle type design on it. I don't know what it means. That doesn't tell me anything. The ending was a little too cheery, I think, for what a dark story it had been up to this point. And the whole implant thing, I think, could have been a little bit more subtle or left unspoken if they were going to do this kind of ending. But I think it would have been a little bit more of an honest ending to not have it with such a happy ending. that, you know, maybe she is the one telling the story, and there would be a page that said, you know, something about how she looked for her father but never could find him or something like that. Honestly, I don't think this type of story would have a legitimately happy ending. But the creative team did a good job. It's still a good story. First 3 issues were great. This one didn't really work for me. I like happy endings more than most, but this one probably wouldn't have had the ending that it did. It felt a little forced, but otherwise it was a really good story. I highly recommend reading it. It was a lot of fun to read. It was a quick, well-paced book. The art's pretty good in this one. I think the artist got a little better over the course of the series. Very interesting style of art. Generally not my thing, but it did work. The aliens looked really scary, really cool, and they were nice enough to save the kid's life. The military guys all looked really good. They did a good job on that. But the cover I liked too. I thought it was really well done. But that scene does not appear in the issue. Overall, a very fun book. I highly recommend all 4 issues. They definitely need to put it in trade paperback, and I think it probably would make a good movie with a few minor adjustments. So it would definitely be like a summer blockbuster kind of thing, I think. Maybe not so action-packed, but definitely worth seeing in the theater. But yeah, if you get a chance, go check this out. Alterna Comics does some great books for real cheap, and I highly recommend checking them out. You could get 2 or 3 issues for the price of one from Marvel and DC. So that'll do it for this one. As always, thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.